Okay, so here we go. I haven't done one of these. I have not done one of these in a while, but I saw a post pop up on Reddit that I felt would be a good one just to go through what they're asking. So I'm gonna hop on over to my screen share real quick. I'll just do the entire screen. And let me hop over here. And so this was it here. Like the question was basically, they're just trying to get things working, and they've got a good sample script they're kind of working from, but they're having some issues. So I was gonna try to rework what they have. They're so close, but it's like when you're first getting started, you don't know what you don't know, and some of these basics can kind of trip you up. So I'm just gonna take everything he has, copy it. I'm gonna go over to my editor here just so I can work with it. It'd be easier for you guys to read as well. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a quick cleanup pass so that, well, so it's easier for me to read it. So this is kind of how I clean up all the code that I'm working with, and I'll eventually share this back over to them. But if you have like a consistent style, I find you code a lot. You just write better code. I think those are needed. The hash table, yeah. All right. So just pieces here. Correct. See here, I'm already getting confused because if this is this level, what is? I've got a dangling bracket. Okay, so I already see one of his issues is all nodes isn't. What do we have here? So I can tell that things aren't closing like they should. Is this supposed to be? Was this? No, maybe he does have. See, here's why I clean stuff up first. That way the indentations. There we go. I was losing the nesting here. So I nest it this way so I know where my closed brackets are. And I kind of like this on the same line. Definitely style preference, but with this, I can look at it really quick and I can see things faster that way. Okay. I'm going to delete these. I'll leave these comments in place. So I'm going to get again, indent right here. And clean up this white space. I probably could have prepped into this ahead of time, but link line there. Okay, so let's look at what he has. So I think this question is really saying that he's running this config, but he's not getting any. Yeah, he's just not getting any computer names or any files outputted. So in theory, we should just be able to run this. I've changed my working directory just to a temp folder so that I can run this. And because all I'm doing is generating a MA file, this is safe to run. I'd probably look at it a little bit closer if it was like straight up, just a straight script. So I run the whole thing, and it ran, but it did not create the folder, but nothing in it. So first thing I'm looking at is the node name, right? This node name is what determines the name of the file that comes out. So if I just change this really quick, just to prove that, I say new name. If I run the script as it is, see it spits out a file called new name.moff, right? So it's this value that spits out the name. Now, if I had multiple files here, right? New name plus guy 3 and this guy 2. If I run this, it'll create a 2. Oh, can I do that? I thought I could do that. Do it this way. Sorry, I thought I could just stick in an array there. Oh, I can. Okay. So this should, nothing like experimenting live. But see, there's the new name, new node 2 and 3. Okay. So this, all it is just for every node, it'll do a loop. It'll process this, and it'll create a moff file for that one and a moff file for this one. So let's get back to what he had. This is right. The problem is we're not getting a name. This has come back null. And then, oh, so there's the first thing is that we're calling the config. In fact, somebody pointed this out already on the thread, that he is calling, so right here. So Vandisham, he said, hey, you know what you didn't do? No config data. If we add the config data, if we don't call that, it's not using any of the configuration data that we've defined up here. So all we have now is just a variable that's been defined and the configuration, but there's nothing yet that's tying these two together. This guy has no idea this config data sits out here until we tell it. So that's what we'll do. Dash configuration data, config data. All right, well, let me ls start moff dash curse. I'm gonna clear these out just to kind of yeah, just to make sure I'm not muddying anything up here. I'm not sure that this will work. And I'll explain why in a second, but I want to run it with this because that's the first thing that we were missing was this configuration data. So let's run a little script, and configuration data ran, but still no moff file. All right, that comes back to node name, right? Let's go figure out where we've defined the node name up in this config data. So in the config data, we have an all nodes section. This here says applies to all nodes, but what we don't have is an actual node defined, right? So this is how close he was here. Let's put another hash table. Let's call this one here, node name equals new name, let's call this guy 4. So, boom, new name 4.moff. So node is every node we define. And since we only had one node defined, actually we had no nodes, we just had the defaults out here. All we were missing was the node name, like the node specific information. Now, if we wanted to have multiple ones, we just define 5, a 6, and a 7. Now, this is handy if you want to say like roll equals equal, roll equals is, And this one here, like role equals SQL, comma, IS, right? The whole reason why I have, you can have variables that are unique to that node name, or you can just have like environment, dev, make one dev test, or maybe it's more like this, connection string, right? Like your dev environment might have one connection string, but your test something else. So there's lots and lots of options here. It's totally up to you. But basically, the script was so close the way it was that all we were missing was literally the nodes that we wanted to define it as. So actually, let me let me execute this before I clean it up too much here. So you see 6 and 7 get created. So control all, execute it, and 6 and 7 are produced. So I'm gonna tweak these just a little bit. Let's call this guy server 1, server 2, and I think I'm going to post this back as a reply. And I'm just going to wrap this video up here, and I'll get this uploaded online real quick. And thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody that's struggling with this particular problem.